Hello everybody, this is Parth Taneja at the Cricket Hotspot. We are recording here from Toronto, in cold and shivering Toronto to say the least. I am here with Sarthak.
Hey folks.
He's slightly sick as you can hear from his voice, but
we'll pull it through for the next 1 hour. That shouldn't be that much of an issue.
Yeah, let's blame it on the mics.
It is the mics and the shivering cold, which is not even the most of it yet. It's just the beginning.
Yes, it's
5 degrees.
Today is zero degrees now.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel much of a difference between 5 and 0 at this point in time.
Well, yeah, you have to dress in layers, I guess. This is the Cricket Hotspot, as I said. Very happening week in cricket. Some off-field things happening and some on-field things. We will be covering them all today. First of them, what did you think of the spot-fixing trial?
And that's the biggest thing going on in the world of cricket right now.
Embarrassing?
Embarrassing for the game for sure. Embarrassing for Pakistan as a country for sure. I'm pretty sure the fans are disappointed with what their heroes have been up to, or if you could call them that right now. And happy that the sentence was not curtailed, like as it was decent enough, harsh enough, I would say, so that it would prevent future cricketers from going down that path.
I think the worst has been the embarrassment that has been caused because of this, and nobody will go in England and commit this crime now, because this is only in England that the president has been set that if you do this, you might have to go for corruption and cheating, and so hopefully other countries accept this and sort of create regulations on cheating, especially countries like India and basically the actual subcontinent where...
That's true, actually. I would that one good thing England did in this case was to set a precedent, as you said, so that to make sure the cricketers know that they cannot get away with it.
Yeah.
So a lot of cricketers have done in the past. If you can just go back to the
Hume Commission.
Yes, exactly. The match fixing episode that unraveled in India in early 2000. It's still going on. There is no decision on what the court has decided. I mean, there's no decision taken by the court.
People have become members of parliament after that, and
people have moved on. No one gives a damn about what is going on in with that case right now. 12 years if you take to solve one case, such a high-profile case, then you can just imagine what the judicial system has come to.
Yeah, but it's good to see efficient justice being done, and it's good to see something come out of this.
Absolutely.
Are you fair sentencing?
Well, it's not for us to decide if it's fair or not, but from a cricketer's point of view, or from a cricket fan's point of view, I'd say yes, decent enough. The judicial system was the one making the decision there, the jury, and if they found it was decent enough of a sentence for each of them, say Amir got 6 months, Asif got 2 years, 1 year, but got 30 months, and Majid got 32 months in prison.
And also there was a clause that on good behavior they can be let off at half
their sentence. So yes, happy that
something's being done about
it. Also the fact that such a promising cricketer like Amir, he had to learn a lesson such early in life, and hopefully it won't go down that path again. And hopefully 6 months or 3 months, depending on how long he stays in there, should be good enough to set him on the right path, I guess.
Wow, one thing that has been very surprising is the kind of different angle stories you hear from everybody's prosecution. Like there was Amir's side is he's young, he didn't know what he was getting into, he got only 2,500 pounds, which is nothing, and he was forced to bowl the no balls. Majid is saying Butt was the one who's doing match fixing, and he involved him into this. He was his agent in England, but he said that other players have so many houses in Pakistan which are not even talented, and they're doing they're doing match fixing. They should get involved. Asif had his side of the story. Very interesting to see how actually emotions were used to get their side of verdict. but the evidence was clear that all three did wrong. Which was
Absolutely.
something-
If you look at it logically, there is no way a cricketer could have controlled. I mean, no anyone else could have controlled what happened on field except the captain, and which
Yeah.
in that case was Salman Butt. And the way if people have gone through the tape of News of the World, what they showed was Majid posting about his contacts and the amount of money he can launder from one place to another, and what all he can pull off. It was pretty clear that he was in the game for a long time, and it was not like a one-off incident and that someone else got him into. But so I think it was fair to give them the most maximum sentence, and Asif, Asif I think was a senior participant in this.
Yes.
And so with that logic, it does make sense that Amir probably was forced into it, or we cannot be so naive as to just believe that he didn't know what he was getting into.
Did something. I think 6 months is fair for a kid basically, and I think that.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so. Last final thing that I would like to discuss on this trial today is that, do you think that you can catch somebody for corruption until and unless it's so clear cut the way it was? This was basically a case handed down on a plate, everything done, there was clear evidence, but 99% of the cases are not like that. Like Indian spot fixing wasn't like this. Other match fixing that has happened has not been like this.
Absolutely. Actually, it's that's one of the reasons why it was easier for this case to come to a conclusion within 15 months and other cases that have been going on around the world have taken so long.
And Hansi Cronje actually gave himself up at the end of the day.
If you plead not guilty, there are several loopholes you can go through, legal loopholes, and I'm sure you can tell us more about that one.
Wow.
A law school aspirant. So I think it's way too easy to go through the legal loopholes, because if you don't have concrete evidence and if you just rely on hearsay or taped phone conversations, I don't know if that is submissible evidence or something on which such a harsh sentencing could be decided on. So.
Interesting days, tough days for cricket. I think we have to go through this cleanliness process, and I think they are looking to catch more cases, that they're looking to go into more test matches. Hopefully they find and remove everything that has gone wrong. So we want it to be clean, this game.
All right, folks, moving on to our next segment, we'll talk a little bit about the Indian team selection for the West Indies series starting on Sunday, 6th of November.
Yeah.
So, pretty interesting, actually. A lot of people expected Harbhajan to be back for the test matches, given the fact that they might select him for the series down under in December. But interesting to see Ashwin given a chance.
I have always said that he can be looked as more than an ODI and T20 spinner. He has the capability, although he still has to prove it, but I think he has the capability to be a test match kind of a spinner. Interesting times for India. I think this is the perfect team selection that they could have done. Not for the first time, but one of the very rare times, a lot of the people will agree with the team selection. You would agree that Harbhajan was going stale. You would agree that, for example, it was time to inject pace into the attack. One exclusion you might find disagreeable is Praveen Kumar, but I think he needed a rest. He from the Lord's Test, he had been bowling constantly, so it's good to see Ishant Sharma, Umesh Yadav and Varun Aaron. Probably the fastest Indian bowling attack since yonks now.
That's true. Probably all of them average above 140, which is it's a new sight for an Indian cricket fan.
Yeah.
So
very interesting, and I hope they actually stick to this policy of pace rather than crafty swing,
So I guess talking about the final 11, I think the first four automatically select themselves: Sehwag, Gambhir, Dravid and Sachin, and then number 6 is Lakshman.
Yeah.
Number 5 spot is still up for grabs. It's between Yuvraj and Virat Kohli as far as we know right now.
Yeah.
Who does your vote go for?
To be fairly honest, I would go for Kohli, because Yuvraj is not the future. Kohli is the future, and you have to look for the future at the moment with this futuristic Indian looking side. And Kohli is a perfect time for him to cement his spot in India, all 3 formats, because he's one for the future. If I was given a chance, I would have actually had Raina also, and because these are Indian conditions, then I would want to go for the all youth 11 and see how they do in Indian conditions with the experience of Tendulkar, Sehwag and Gambhir. Your take on that? If you were to pick one of Yuvraj and Kohli?
I would again go for Kohli based on current form and future potential, everything combined. I think
Fielding also.
Kohli is the one to go for.
Yeah.
The only thing where my vote would actually swing towards Yuvraj is because of that left-right combination. It keeps going in the middle order.
Yeah.
So you have Gambhir at in the opening spot, and after that it's all right-handers all the way down till the tail. So there's no variation, or there's no nothing to throw the bowling side off.
Yeah.
So Yuvraj being in the middle order gives you that flexibility of having that left-right combination going throughout the batting order. That was the only reason, and also the fact that he can provide relief for the spinners, come and bowl a few of his pie chucking.
But in India, you have Ashwin, you have Pragyan Ojha to bowl.
So yeah, I mean that was the only case where my vote would actually go for Yuvraj. But on the whole, looking at everything, and I think Virat Kohli weighs out.
But looking at Dhoni, who would you think he would pick?
I'd still think he'd go for Kohli in this, given the current scenario.
He would go with Kohli. Yeah. Interesting times. And what left field thinking? If we include Ravindra Jadeja in for Pragyan Ojha, what do you think about that in the Test squad? It's a very brave move. It's very left field thinking, but the man's in form. You need a better... I mean, Ojha is not as good a batsman as Ravindra Jadeja is, and I think they're both similar quality spinners.
I never thought we would say this, but
yes.
It actually is not a bad option at all. Looking at their current run, they are at the peak of their game, as in Ravindra Jadeja is. Pragyan Ojha is a very good bowler.
Yeah, I like him, yeah.
Very good bowler, but yeah, as far as the bowling is concerned, probably if I were to rate both of them, Ojha might be a 7.5 on 10 and Jadeja might be 6.5 on 10. But when you compare their batting, Jadeja is actually much better than Pragyan Ojha.
Fielding would be Jadeja would be a 9 and Pragyan Ojha would be a 6.
So if you can have someone like Ravindra Jadeja coming in at number 8 or number 9 for you, that is a strong batting lineup.
Yeah, that's a very strong batting.
So again, and I think if people have been following the Ranji Trophy that just started 2 days ago in India, Jadeja just scored 300, triple century, in the first match for Saurashtra against I think it was Orissa. So there, he's at the top of his game right now, and might as well give him a chance when he's there.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with your choice there, and there could have been a way selectors would have gone. Another interesting selection point, which I thought I would never say, is Harbhajan should have been part of the squad. I don't think there's any point of having Rahul Sharma in the squad. That one spot.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you have Harbhajan in the squad, you have to play him. You cannot keep him.
I don't believe in that thinking. You don't really have to play the player if you have a high-profile player in the squad.
So then why keep him in the squad? Give him a rest at least.
No, the thing is, if he's with the squad, at least if he is part of the team, because you know you're going to get him back for the Australia series. You can't just expect him to come out of cold and start performing right away. Although it's good that right now he's playing domestic cricket, he's getting his groove back. It's good that way. I also like the fact that Ashwin has been given the opportunity, but I would have had Harbhajan in the team rather than Rahul Sharma. Although, because there's no point of having Rahul Sharma in the team, you're not going to blood him in right away in a Test match. He hasn't proved himself anywhere. So
not even in first-class cricket. He's played very limited first-class experience. Yeah.
So that would have been my only change. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with what the selectors have come up with.
No Ajinkya Rahane in the final 11.
Well,
you have to.
There's no space. Yeah, there's no space for him right now.
But it's good time for him to groom himself to be with the team, so that
he does look like a long-term prospect. Yeah, actually, the way he performed in England and the ODIs that he played, he does look like a long-term prospect. So if he can stick around and be in the eye of the selectors, I'm pretty sure going forward we'll see more in the team.
Rohit Sharma?
That's a tough one. I like Rohit Sharma.
he's not in the squad. So,
Yeah, I like Rohit Sharma, but the fact is, every time he's given an opportunity, he does something or the other to ruin it.
Yeah.
Either he gets injured playing football, or he fractures his hand, or he just does not perform.
Bad form, bad form.
I mean, every time he comes in the
but
squad,
he looks like a classy batsman who has a lot of potential.
He definitely does, and I think that's what everyone's been saying, that he does have a lot of potential, but the only issue is he hasn't reciprocated that at the international level, and that's when you're judged. So if you cannot perform at that level, how do you justify?
He looked good for years ago in Australia, but I think that was his Ishan Sharma moment, as we always will call it.
But that's true. As the senior players are phased out, I think more and more of these players will come into the squad. Rahane, Rohit Sharma might get a chance too, for sure, sooner rather than later. So, and it's up to him to cement his spot in the squad. So,
but right now it's time to India to get that lost ground back, which they lost terribly in India. So that's why they have their best full strength batting, so that they can go for 2-0 or 3-0 victory. Your take on the series prediction?
Against West Indies, I don't really think West Indies have a lot of a big chance against India.
Pace bowling is very good for them.
Their pace bowling is really good. I really like Ravi Rampal.
Ravi Rampal is also. I mean, he's always done that well against India.
Each and every series, no matter who the opposition is, no matter what the conditions are, he comes in, he bowls fast, he picks up wickets out of nowhere.
Underrated bowler.
Very underrated, highly underrated bowler. I'd seriously think on both the teams right now, given the squad, I think he's the most explosive bowler on both the teams.
Yeah.
So he'd been my first pick, given the squads of both the teams right now. But series predictions, I would say whitewash India.
3-0?
Yeah.
Okay. I would go 2-0 India, because given the tracks in India, if all the three turn, it will be 3-0. But if there's a one flat track, maybe Kolkata or maybe the third test match, you will get a draw.
Interesting. The only reason why I said whitewash was because I don't think West Indies batting inspires any confidence in me at the moment. They have some decent potential. They have Simmons, they have Kirk Edwards, Samuels. They have Samuels back in the squad. Obviously, Bharat is there. They have Darren Bravo.
I'm really looking forward to see Darren Bravo, because he is one of the very elegant-looking players you don't get to see a lot these days. And
people who haven't seen a lot of Lara can actually watch Darren Bravo and see what Lara used to look like, because a lot of his shots are very similar to what Lara played. How Lara played.
His cuts and especially his drives on the offside are very
Lara-esque.
high back left and very Lara-esque, as you said. So you said 3-0.
I would think so. It all depends on West Indies batting. I think the weakest link out of all the four departments, so India batting, Indian bowling, West Indies batting and West Indies bowling, I think West Indian batting is the weakest link, and it all depends on how they perform. If they fail to perform, it's a 3-0.
Yeah. Or they may just pull off a New Zealand have a very close contest.
That's always possible with India.
And we might need her Harbhajan then to pull us out in two test series, 2 matches. So, anyways, let's move on to the Sri Lanka Pakistan series. Let's talk about the second test match, which Pakistan won. Clinical performance, definitely.
I actually, when we were talking about series predictions a couple of episodes ago, I didn't give Pakistan a lot of chance just because of the fact that they didn't have a lot of experience in their squad. But they have surprised me, actually. The bowlers, especially, have performed above par. Pretty good. And spinners, Ajmal has always been a good spinner. He came to the fore. I think he got the man of the match in that match.
Wickets.
And 5-4 in our second innings.
Yeah.
And the youngsters, even in the batting, Azhar Ali scored a century.
Yeah.
So, well, good performance both on the batting and the bowling front by Pakistan.
Yeah, I mean, very surprising to see Sri Lanka slipping so badly. I mean,
especially batting.
You would expect them to fend off the Pakistani bowling attack, but Pakistani bowling attack, first of all, has been very good, but they haven't shown any tooth except in third test match, which we will talk about. How do you see Sri Lanka panning out in the future?
It's tough to take a call based on just some of the recent matches. It all depends of how they develop the players.
They need a strong bowling attack. I think that's what they have been lacking.
They need a strong bowling attack, but you also have to think about the batting. Once Sangakkara and Jayawardene leave, they don't really have anyone to take their place. So even Dilshan is not really young anymore. So
34, I think, yeah.
once these players leave, it's really tough to replace players of their caliber.
Yeah.
And if they don't develop the players properly at this stage, it's going to be tough.
And
it's going to be really tough.
You would expect them to do very well in the flat tracks of UAE. And if you can't do well in these conditions, maybe it's out of form, maybe it's whatever, but not good signs for Sri Lankan cricket in general.
I think one of my favorite young players at the moment has got to be Angelo Matthews.
Yes.
I just love that guy.
Yeah.
He can bowl, he can bat, he can field. He has a very, very, very stable head on his shoulders.
Cricketing nous, as they say.
Absolutely, yeah. He does not crack under pressure. That's what I love about him. And I think out of all the teams you see, one of the most... my money is on Angelo Matthews. He's going to be the next future Sri Lankan captain.
Actually, giving Dilshan the captaincy, I don't agree. Either you stay with Sangakkara or you give it to the young blood that is Angelo Matthews. But Sri Lankan politics have always gone together. So interesting times for Sri Lankan cricket and for Pakistani cricket. The upswing, the 100th upswing in the last 10 years. So
yeah, that's true. I think both of them are going on opposite directions right now. Sri Lanka is on the way down, while Pakistan is coming back up after all the off-field controversies that have plagued the team.
Pakistan is the only country I know that can play very well in turmoil, in chaos, in everything that is going on wrong outside the field. They'll still manage to pull off a miraculous win from somewhere and surprise everybody.
That sort of, at times it almost seems the way of life for a Pakistani cricketer. So I think it's just they are more at home when it comes to that kind of...
In chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. And whatever the case be, politics or anything, or tainted cricketers or administration or whatever the case be, but they just pull it off.
Yeah, one of the most, the rising shine in world cricket has to be Azhar Ali. He's played very, very well, and everybody's looking forward to how he does. Have you seen Adnan Akmal play, the third of the Kamran brothers?
The third of the Akmal brothers,
the Akmal brothers, pardon me.
I haven't seen a lot of him, so I am not in a position to comment a lot on his...
Apparently he's keeping it the best of the three.
Well, anyone is better than Adnan or Kamran, so you can't really blame anyone. Say that's not saying a lot if he's out of the best of the three, because he only has to beat Kamran.
Yeah.
So... Well,
apparently Umar's keeping it better than Kamran.
Oh my God! It's just it's crazy.
Yeah.
One crazy family.
Anyways, let's move on to our next topic.
Okay, guys. So our next topic is the dwindling crowd attendance in world cricket right now. As it not only in subcontinent, but it was fairly evident in the India-England series. Half the grounds were empty.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect Eden Gardens to be empty.
And it's not only a trend in the subcontinent, but it's also some of the recent matches we've seen outside of the subcontinent.
Yeah.
Could it be the teams that are playing? Could it be the locations that they're playing? Or could it be the cricket overdose that people have had for the last, say, 6 months?
I think let's talk about first off of India. India, there is with the IPL and Champions League, that's become the cricket season. So people buy season passes, especially this year with the World Cup also in India. There has been sort of, we've seen enough of cricket. And this India-England series was supposed to be just a TV event. It was not scheduled in the FTP. So I don't know why they did it. I think they just did it because it will be a nice marketing tool of a revenge series or whatever. But what is your take? Is it sort of ruining cricket? Does TV rights dictate cricket, or does crowds dictate?
Absolutely. Right now, if you can see the trends going back, say 2 or 3 or maybe 4 years, it's more and more shifting towards how much revenue you're getting from TV.
Yeah.
They don't care how many people attend the matches in person. like the entire charm of a match was going to a ground and watching it live. That's not the case anymore. I think a lot of people in the lives are moving so fast, they don't really have time to go out and watch an entirety of cricket. That might not be the case with everyone, but say for the general population, that's turning out to be the case. Plus the fact that you pointed out, so much cricket has been played over the last 6 months, in India especially, starting all the way from the IPL, the World Cup.
Yeah.
Before the World Cup, so India was in Bangladesh before that, but World Cup, then the IPL, Champions League, then India-England series, so much cricket in the last 6 months, you really can't expect crowd to still want more and go out and attend all the matches.
Yeah.
People who were to go out and attend those matches, they already did for these previous tournaments.
Yeah.
And that's why the India-England series was not that much of sold out.
I mean, it was evident even from the IPL, because it wasn't the most anticipated IPL. It wasn't the most anticipated Champions League. Champions League turned out to be good because of the flat wickets of Bangalore, but it wasn't a scintillating event. Like, it won't be memorable in your mind. And I think it's the crowds that bring the ambiance. It's the crowds that actually make a match stick out in your mind.
Absolutely. Go back to any of the great games. Go back in your mind. Go back to the footage. Look at it. I think one thing that makes a match great is the crowd support. Be it the 2001 Kolkata Test match where India came back against Australia, be it in Sharjah, be it in England, be it in Australia, be it any cricket match, any great cricket match, crowd support is what differentiates it from a regular mundane cricket match. Another point to highlight, where the TV rights are dictating how the cricket is broadcasted or how cricket is played, is if you go back 3 years or 4 years, probably around the time of the last World Cup, when India was playing New Zealand, the timings for the test match were specially shifted so that the TV public watching in India could watch.
You know, that's also one example. The other example is the T20 World Cup in West Indies. All the matches were during day because it was night in India.
Right, that's true.
Which is fine, because that's the biggest audience. That I agree. I mean, I don't agree with that, because T20 is only good during the night. That's my personal opinion. Like, the ambience of the night T20 is much more than a day T20. But to move it to day for actually a bigger audience is nice, because you're looking at a bigger picture. But I think something has to change in this system. Either the people watching on TV say, we don't want to watch it because you're not taking care of us. Whatever you're doing, first of all, the broadcast we're getting, we don't get to see the reaction of the player when he gets out, because you bring advertising.
Oh my God!
So quickly.
The moment an over finishes or a wicket falls, switch right to the ad.
You know, I was listening to a cricket program where two of my favorite commentators were speaking. They said that the best commentary the people don't get to hear, because it is generally before the over starts and generally right at the end of the over, and they just switch right after the score is set. They just switch. So the public has to say, I mean, these TV, especially Neo and 10 Sports. First of all, Neo is controlled by the BCCI, and that's whole another nonsense. But the public has to say something. The public has to say that, no, we cannot take this anymore. You cannot dictate sporting events with just TV rights. It has to be the public who's come to see, and it has to be you have to have there has to be an incentive to come. Or if it is just TV rights, then say attendance is free. We have 50,000 passes. The first 50,000 that come, it's free attendance. All the money we charge is from the TV right.
I actually agree with that opinion. Rather than having people speak up against it, I don't think that's going to happen, because a lot of people say if they're playing in your city and they charge, you want me to speak up against it, but I'm not concerned with it, because I'm in a different city. I'm going to watch it on TV as it is. I'm not concerned with going to the ground. So I don't think people speaking up in unison is going to ever happen, because every time a match is played at a different venue, those people will want everyone else to speak up that yes, people should be attending matches at the ground, or TV rights shouldn't dictate how the cricket is played or what time cricket is played. But that is not going to happen all at once. So I think the other suggestion that you made was pretty good, because if the cricket boards are making a lot of money from the TV rights. Might as well make the attendance at ground subsidized so that people who want to actually come and watch it, you actually have a full stadium. And imagine the players. They're not used to playing in front of 50 or 100 people. They are used to playing in front of thousands and thousands of people. So to motivate your inner player, your inner performer, it becomes a little bit of an issue because you're playing almost in empty stands, empty stadiums.
Every match should be once in a lifetime opportunity for a player to play, not one in a set of 400. You cannot let a player think like that. And the way it's going, I fear for crowd attendance, especially in India. Is it the IPL which has created this, that's the cricket season, and that's when I go to see my cricket, and I won't go to see any other match because test matches especially have been affected by it, and now we are seeing ODIs being affected by it also. Very sort of sad times.
I think IPL definitely has something to do with it because the thing is people have been used to the fast food entertainment.
You say that word almost every podcast.
And then I have to bring it in because I want it to become a rage. In any case, that is my contribution to the world of cricket. But in any case, what I was trying to say is people just are used to coming home from work, having 3 spare hours in the evening, watching it, enjoying enjoy while eating, while having dinner or with friends, a group of friends. That's it. Finish off at a decent time, go to sleep, go to work the next day, and life continues.
Yeah.
If it's an ODI match, you either have to take a half day at work or sacrifice work to watch that game, which doesn't really work in this cutthroat world in the world right now.
Yes, you can say, but if you have a free match pass, it's worth taking that day off.
But that's the thing. How many days can you get off?
If there is a match just once in a year in your city or twice in a year in your city.
It all depends on how how you can switch around work and how you can balance both work and your personal life.
But I think this issue has to be taken care of. It's a very...
I'd much rather be in favor of subsidizing cricket games so that people can go and watch, who are actually interested and
not affected by the price.
Exactly, make most of the money from your TV broadcasting rights and
you still have to
subsidize.
improve your TV broadcasting. I mean, I'm sort of ashamed of the fact that Indian public is the public which deserves the best rights because we provide the most number of people. And to have shameful broadcast of Nimbus cricket, it's very archaic.
You only get to watch 4 balls in an over. The first ball is gone. Last ball is gone before. The ad starts before the last ball is bowled and comes back on only after the first ball of the next over is bowled.
It's I think very pathetic, very pathetic. And you have good commentators. I mean, the commentators aren't bad. It's just that the quality of the pictures and sort of lingering shots of ground advertising and all those, just to give your advertisers extra money because it's not geared towards the public. Like Channel 9 commentary, although they have a lot of commercial in it, like for example KFC Challenge or whatever, they probably one of the best TV broadcasting, and that's controlled by Australian government, if I am correct. I may be wrong in that, but definitely a model to look at, and very bad broadcasting, I think, in India.
Alright guys, now that we're done with our rant against the corporate cricket governance, let's move on to our moment of the week, our special every week. And this week we bring to you one of Indian cricket's modern greats, if I might. It was the birthday of Venkatappu Venkatasai Lakshman.
Yes.
And
for our non-Indian listeners, VVS Lakshman.
VVS Lakshman. Very, very special Lakshman. Yeah. Great cricketers. Was I right in saying one of the modern greats?
I think if you were to make an all-time India 11, he would feature in it, for sure.
I would definitely hope so, because that man has given a lot to Indian cricket. He was part of one of India's most memorable games, the man of the match in one of India's most memorable games.
Most memorable. If you were to do a Test 11, it will be in the top 3. I would say so.
Absolutely, very great performer. Of late, he's become a great finisher in Test matches too. Yes. He knows how to bat with the tail because of his position. He bats at number 6. He has to bat both with the upper middle order and then with the lower order with the tail.
I think his actually England tour was disappointing, but before that, he was a champion. I mean,
each and every series, he's averaged more than 40, I would say.
Easily. Yeah.
Easily. England series was definitely a disappointment for most of the Indian batsmen.
For most of them, and I think his 92 was it in Durban in South Africa this year. One of the best international hundreds, like outside India hundreds. I mean innings that actually Lakshman has played. It was definitely worth a watch to face Dale Steyn and Morne Morkel on a lively wicket. Lakshman deserves quite a bit of credit. You cannot go, I mean, stats are one thing, but I think Lakshman brings other things outside of stats. His style, his batting poise, his wrists, his just his demeanor towards cricket. I mean, very relaxed, no pressure, just perform. He hasn't performed every time India has needed him to be. Only until recently he started to do that, but most of his career he hasn't done that. But very great cricketer nonetheless.
Definitely, and I think those risks come from where he's from, Hyderabad.
Yeah.
So
it's the birthplace of the wristy players.
All the great wristy players, say Gundappa Vishwanath, Mohammad Azharuddin, and now Lakshman, have great wrists. I clearly remember one of his trademark shots is a ball outside off and flicked to long on for a boundary.
Yeah.
And effortlessly done, which is amazing. It's just a sight to behold.
You know, what I think Glenn McGrath said once in an interview is that if a player can play a ball in same ball in two different directions, you know he's a great player.
Absolutely.
And, when you see Lakshman play, he has a lot of time, and that's the trademark of a Tendulkar, of a Lakshman, of a Dravid, of a Steve Waugh, of anybody who can just wait even at the fastest bowlers and make them look like play any shot in the book. That's what Lakshman brings.
Well said.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's that. That was your weekly fodder on cricket, world of cricket right now.
Yes.
With our moment of the week being VVS Lakshman's birthday.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions for us or anything, you can email us at questions@thecrickethotspot.com. Add us on Facebook at The Cricket Hotspot. We are also now available on Blackberries. You have to download an app. I don't know how to use Blackberry, so but you can.
We'll leave that to you to figure out. But I'm pretty sure most of you are technologically smart out there. You're not challenged as most of us are.
Yeah.
So in any case, it was great.
Well, I refuse to use Blackberry, so I'm not technically challenged.
Only when it comes to Blackberries.
Yes.
All right, guys. It was great being back. Again, we'll see you soon, hopefully. And thanks for following us on Facebook. And we'll see you again.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.